Hi everyone, Smithyy here. Welcome to the channel. I normally don't create these kinds of videos, but there's one thing that I really need to get off my chest, and that's The Division 2. I played a lot of The Division 1. I remember when it launched in 2016. It was so fresh, it was so new. It was such a cool game, and I love looter shooters, right? So this perfectly fit into that sweet spot of grinding for loot, grinding for materials, grinding for gear sets, becoming stronger over time. I love that shit. And also, they brought something really fresh and something that didn't exist before, the way I see it. And that was the Dark Zone. So they pretty much defined the extraction shooter genre. It was new. Whenever you entered that Dark Zone, that mix of PvE and PvP, you were on your toes, you were freaking scared, you're afraid to die, but you had to go into the Dark Zone because you wanted the best gear, and the Dark Zone had the best gear. So, and it was just great, just teaming up with my clan, going into the Dark Zone together, and and just grinding for the best loot possible. So I played a lot of The Division 1, but when The Division 2 came out in 2019, which was only 3 years after the release of The Division 1, it's fairly quick. And I checked my PlayStation stats. I only played 250 hours of The Division 2. And I still remember that at a certain point there was just not that much to do anymore. The world felt a bit empty. It didn't felt complete. The game didn't feel finished. And at a certain moment, you just tap out. And there were also some other really good games around. We went heavily into into Destiny, which is a really good looter shooter. So I never looked back. I completely forgot about the Division 2 until I saw Nothing But Skills, one of the streamers and content creators from The Division, showed up in my YouTube feed with a new video about The Division 2. So I watched it, and I thought, why the hell is he still creating content about The Division 2? So I looked into it and found out that Massive, the developer of The Division, they've been supporting this game all those years. So in the last 7 years, they've been updating the game with patches, refining the game, refining the world. They've been releasing seasonal content, paid content, but also free content. They have been releasing DLC packages, just expanding the world experience and expanding the story and what Division is. What the Division world is about. So after all those years, they're still supporting this game. That made me curious. So I went into Steam. There was a good deal in place. I think for 15 or 20 euros, I bought the entire game. But also the DLC packages, and I started playing, and I'm now level 39. I'm 35 hours in, so it's still very early days, but I'm absolutely loving it. So the world feels much more complete. It's extensive. You have lots of things to do. it's not that linear anymore, where you go from mission to mission and that's all you can do. No, the world itself, it's much more full. So when you go from point A to B, you see much more enemies. There's much more loot on the ground, chests, gearboxes, rucksacks. You can grind for materials everywhere, and I love that. So, yeah, 35 hours in, and I'm having a blast. And I'm definitely not done with this game at all. They've also just released new DLC, which is called Red Horizon. So another expansion of the game, and I think what I've seen so far with the videos online, it looks freaking cool. So I'm looking forward to playing it. So let me just go into the game real quickly and show you the map, and then you can see what they've added to the game. So just load it into the game, and this is the map. And at launch, you just had this map, but nothing like all these things that are around this map. They're all new. So I'm just now at the Tidal Basin content, which was the first seasonal content drop, I believe, in year 1, where the Black Tusk invades everything, all the missions, and makes it was a stronger enemy. But also after year 1 they released Paradise Lost. That was the first raid, and after that we played that, and then we stopped playing it because there was just nothing more to do. But as you can see, they've added Pentagon Breach, another mission, so expansion of the story. They've added 2 raids, Operation Dark Hours and Operation Iron Horse. They've added City Hall. I don't know. Oh, no, this is called the New York City expansion, so that's DLC. And also the Brooklyn expansion, also DLC. They've added these side missions: Coney Island, Camp White Oak, a new stronghold, which is like a mini raid. They've added multiple game types. One is the Descent. And I think it's you have to go through waves of enemies, and then how the further you get, the stronger the enemies are, and then the better loot you will receive. And they've also added the Summit, and I have a quick explanation here. So it's an endgame mode where the player climbs a 100-story skyscraper floor by floor, and I think it's a roguelite type game type. So fight your way from the first floor to the top floor at floor 100. You can play solo or in a group up to 4 players, and each floor features random layouts, objectives, enemy factions, and active directives that increase the challenge. So in every 10 floors, it ends with a tough boss encounter. So the cool thing about this game type, and I also think it's with the other game types, is it's that it's about targeted loot. So in year 1, during launch, you had to grind your freaking ass off to get a complete gear set. And that's what this game is all about, right? It's about gear sets and building game builds. So you want to get those gear sets complete and then try out new builds. And it was hard. It was freaking difficult to get those gear sets complete. But with the Summit and also with some other game types, I also believe that it's in the Dark Zone. You can say, I only want to get these types of gear as drops. And that's genius, right? So I'm really looking forward to this game type. It's recommended a lot. People love it. So I need to be level 40 to play it. So I will probably go through the map a little bit, play the DLCs, and then I will try the summit. But that's not all. There's also another incursion, and there's the Pentco Fairview Power Plant countdown. I don't know what this is, but anyways, it's also extra content. And then there's Kenny College, which is an expedition which only releases or opens up every once in a while. So it's a timed piece of content. Next to that, when you go into so they've completely overhauled the UI. There are more special weapons now. At the start, you only have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 special weapons, and now they have I think they have 9 in total. They have added this global modifier addition, where you can change the mechanics of the game a little bit. When you're level 40, you also get your SHD watch, which is another way to refine your character and to refine your character towards your playstyle. They've added so these are the 8 different skills that were released at launch in year 1, but they have added 4 more different skills over the last couple of years, and I will get them in when I'm level 40, I believe. So that's also what they've changed. So also the menus look much more detailed. It's much more it just looks more complete. What they've also added, and I don't believe that was there during launch, is that they've added. Okay, that's the a seasonal package. So this is just released today, and you have this season pass, the battle pass, which I will 100% buy, where you get loot this season. So this is your unique weapon as a season drop. You get different loot boxes. This is the seasonal gear, the seasonal items. Yeah, so there's a lot to play for, right? It looks cool. These kinds of things, I think, you have something to play for, which is great. Also, there's your store. There's so freaking many types of apparel you can buy and outfits you can gather, like all these different outfits from the last 7 years, different emotes, weapon skins, also visuals of your skills. There's a lot of content. Last thing that I wanted to say is that, and I already made that comment earlier in the video, is that the world itself, it just feels more complete and more full. So when, for instance, I go from here to there, you will find loot everywhere. So previously there were only a couple of spots where you could find some chests. So here's a chest. You can find some chests or where you can grind some materials, but now it's just every time you go from A to B, it's like a loot run. Here I already found 4 chests. Also, there are much more enemies everywhere, so there's actually fighting on the streets of Washington. There's something to do on every corner. Here, look at this. Like every... Is there something here? No. Oh, maybe there is.
Friendly combatants nearby.
Here you just find a lot of loot, a lot of materials by walking through the world itself, and I'm that's just very satisfying. So you know, it releases your endorphins. It hooks you in, and this is what makes a looter shooter. You need loot. And lots of it in a looter shooter. If there's no loot, then why the hell do you play the game? You know, we just love this shit. Also, and let me go to quickly. Yeah, let me fast forward to a control point, and I will show you how much stronger you are as a character, especially your skills. You feel a boss. So let me fast forward and show you the skills. Yeah, so I just arrived at the overgrowth to get some loot here. And let me show you how strong the skills are. So here's the turret and the drone, and let them do the work. Let them do the work. Look at them go. This wasn't the case in year one. This wasn't the case. The skills were just weak. Let me pick this up. There goes the drone. Get him. Look at you know, this is just cool. Yeah, so I think that's it. So let me go into the save spot. So the Division 2, you know, pick it up. It's really cool. So many things to do. It's a great game. Also the graphics, it's, you know, it's on par with new releases. It's a great looking game, and yeah, I'm gonna sink in many more hours. So I will probably make a video about what you can do after level 40, and see you soon. So give a like, subscribe to the channel or whatever, and see you on the next one. Cheers, bye.